Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Lexitron review. Tonight I have something a little different. I've been trying to find this guy for quite a while. I actually found him at the store a few weeks ago, about a month ago, and I put him on reserve, and when I went to pick him up, they had sold him to someone else, so I was thinking I was going to have to get this guy online and pay more than I wanted to for him, but I just went to Toys R Us the other day, and I found one, the last one, sitting right on the shelf, waiting for me. Felt like it was waiting for me. And so I snatched him up, and going to give you guys a little review tonight of the Fall of Cybertron Voyager class Soundblaster. So let's take a look at him. And here we have Soundblaster with his counterpart, Soundwave. Now, Soundblaster comes with Buzzsaw, which is pretty much Yellow Laserbeak. So before I get into these guys over here, let's just talk about the Cassetticons for a second. Transforms the same way. You just push the little button down here and he pops right out. And we get Buzzsaw. Yellow Laserbeak. Pretty much, you know, the same exact thing. And I liked the Laserbeak, honestly, quite a lot. And I like the little, the fact that they do turn into little round discs. And of all of the Cassetticons that did come with the Soundwave, Soundblaster, and the Blaster that came out, honestly, I think the Laserbeak was one of the better molds and just fits together much better than, say, Ravage or Frenzy and Rumble. The overall design of these guys, I felt like, of the Laserbeak was superior to the other Cassetticons. So that being said, I dig Buzzsaw. You know, Yellow Laserbeak. He's pretty cool. Yeah, he looks pretty cool. An accessory I like, for once. As far as Soundblaster goes in vehicle mode, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing that we get with the Soundwave. It's same exact mold, everything else, just different color scheme. All the red detailing and the purple detailing on Soundwave has gone to yellow and gold, and his tires are all the bits that are purple, translucent purple on Soundwave. They're all red on Soundblaster. And I don't know. He looks pretty cool in vehicle mode. I like him quite a lot. I think the color scheme in vehicle mode, he just looks, I don't know, he just looks more menacing and kind of badass than Soundwave. In some ways. I really do dig the color scheme. Now, the Decepticon logo on his chest stands out a little more than the Decepticon logo on the Soundwave, just because it is two different colors, but at the same time, that Decepticon logo is pretty hard to see. And that's kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. They still stuck with the red chair. Let me just take this fusion cannon thing off. Fusion cannon, blaster cannon, whatever this is. Soundwave signature weapon. We'll throw that away for a minute. They still kept this little red chair thing with this one, and I just want to know who's supposed to sit there. It's just kind of a funny little bit of color there. I just want to know who's supposed to sit there, if anyone. I'm not going to transform this guy for this video just because, like I said, Unicronobot did do the review for the Soundwave. So if you do want to see how to transform Soundblaster, just refer to Unicronobot's review. And it's not an overly complicated transformation anyway. And here we have Soundblaster in robot mode. And, whew, does he look epic or what? He just looks badass. He just looks legit. He just looks cool. I don't know, he looks like Soundwave, but more deadly, I guess. His eyes are yellow, and the light piping is just as fantastic. And I like that they changed the eye color for him. I dig that. It just kind of goes along with this whole yellow thing. The that they've done here. As far as articulation goes, you know, same thing. You know, he can spin his arms all the way around here. They're hinged here. He's got a swivel here. He's got a ratchet here. So you can get a lot of motion and posing out of the arms. His head does move side to side somewhat. Now, he doesn't have any kind of torso twisting whatsoever, and that's transformation purposes more than anything else. He does have two joints at the top of the leg here. You can pull it out this way, and you can push it back and forth this way. And he does have a ratchet at the knee. Listen to that. Oh, ratchet joints. And he does have a little bit of foot movement here. So that being said, he's relatively posable. And honestly, as my only real complaint with this figure is with the gimmick in the back. And I know that that's been the complaint with everybody. It's the fact that the gimmick doesn't work. Not very well. Now, the way that works, or at least it's supposed to, I'm going to try and demonstrate it for you, but I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to work. And I'm just going to use Laserbeak because he's the one I grabbed. And if you have Soundwave already, then you will know that these Cassetticons do not really like to stay together. They like to spontaneously pop apart. Now, the way that they did this, the Cassetticons are all one size. And the little space for them is so tight that they can barely fit in here. It's a very tight fit to get them to squeeze in there. So when you shut it back up, what you're supposed to be able to do is push this down, and it's supposed to eject out. But oh, it did it. It did it. All right, it worked. It did actually work. It's supposed to eject out and auto-transform it, and it did. But 99.9% of the time, it usually doesn't like to do that. So, great idea for a gimmick, kind of lousy execution. So, there is that. So, do I recommend this guy? So, do I recommend Mr. Soundblaster over here? The Dark Soundwave? Well, here's the thing. I didn't go too in-depth with this review. I didn't give you I didn't show you the transformation simply because Unicronobot has already reviewed this mold with the Soundwave figure. So why beat a dead horse, right, guys? The only difference is paint anyway. So you already know what the pros and cons are of this figure. I mean, you're getting a decently sized Voyager class figure, the fantastic mold, great paint job, pretty terrible gimmick, and pretty awful backpack, let's be honest. However, I feel like the positives with this figure outweigh the negatives, especially since we're getting a much better vehicle mode with this figure than we got with the War of Cybertron figure, the Deluxe, from a few years ago. So there is that. So would I recommend him? Absolutely. Especially if you've got the Soundwave and you're happy with the Soundwave, why not get the Soundblaster too? They look great together. I mean, they really do just look awesome together up on a shelf. It's just eye candy for any Decepticon fan. It just looks great. Or any Transformer fan in general, I suppose. But he is a little harder to find, and you probably will pay a little more money for him, so, I mean, it's up to you if you want to grab the same mold for, you know, a steeper price. But I definitely think he's worth it. He does look cool. And let's face it, guys, how many Soundblasters do we have out there? You know, there really aren't that many. And this one is the first one we've gotten in how long? I don't even know. I mean, that alone is reason enough to snatch him up. So, if you see this guy, definitely pick him up. Definitely grab him. That being said, thanks for watching. This has been another Lexitron review. And don't forget, everyone, all hail Megatron.